Ladies and gentlemen, the bye week is over. The co-hosts are back. Welcome to another edition of the Fat Katz Podcast. I'm your co-host Ward Sewell, joined by the big dog. He's a big dog, but he's not the real big dog. Joined by Cam. If anybody's looking on YouTube right now, I do want you to see my name. I'm Ward, the real big dog, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. One, we're happy to be here. I apologize for the bye week last week. The boys got caught up in real life work. So, anyway, Cam, what's up, brother? How are you doing?
Yeah, man. Excited to be back. A well-deserved bye week. We went almost half a calendar year without missing a show, Ward, so that's something to be happy about. But yeah, man, episode 28, October the 19th, for anybody who's paying attention to the timestamp. But yeah, man, excited to be back. We're going to have to knock the rust off here in this first few minutes. But I'm here with the real big dog, and I couldn't be more excited, man.
Hey, and I will say, one of the reasons for the bye week last week was your boy, co-host Ward, was in a little bit of depression. Let me tell you why. So the reason why I made my name the real big dog, which Cam should probably do this. Cam beat me in fantasy he beat me by like 10 points. He should not have won, by the way. Austin Eckler, you're my empty stomach of the week, by the way. But anyway, me and Cam get down to it. It's Monday Night Football. We're like 50-50 on who's going to win. Right first drive of the game, Austin Eckler has like a 30-yard catch. I go up to 70%. I'm going to win in fantasy. And anybody that knows, I've never beat Cam in fantasy before. This is not a fantasy football podcast. We're not going to get too big into it. It's just, when the co-hosts play each other, we got to dive in. But anyway, long story short, Tony Pollard, the scrub from the Cowboys, somehow outplays one of the best running backs in NFL, which is Austin Eckler, and I lose. But I guess Austin Eckler has been hurt, Cam, so that's my excuse. But congrats, brother. I'll give you a handshake virtually. Congrats for beating me in fantasy. And you may have won the battle, but you haven't won the war, my friend.
Yeah, man. And keep in mind, all the listeners out there, this is one-time league champ, Cam Taylor. I do have a trophy on the mantle, so keep that in mind as well. But, yeah, Ward, I want to talk about your week so far. I've got a pretty big personal announcement that I want to share with the greater audience. But
let's hear it, brother.
Well, I'll go ahead and start, man. Your boy Cam Taylor is now officially the offensive line coach at Northeast Middle School. For the past 2 weeks, I have been. I'm getting the young men right. I'm giving back to the game that's given me so much. But that was part of the reason we couldn't get an episode out last week. We had a game on our normal, time schedule. So I am officially the coach of the Northeast Eagles. We have about 3 games left, so just 3 more weeks of scheduling conflicts. But yeah, man, excited to get into it, but I just wanted to share that with the people, man.
Cam said he had some personal news. I thought he was about to drop a bomb and say Cam Jr. was on the way. But anyway, scratch that. Cam, we got a big week in football. Not just football, UFC. We have a big week in sports coming down the line. Real quick, Cam, I do want to touch on this. I think this is something that we both want to forget about. NC State Wolfpack, Kentucky Wildcats. Boys aren't looking good, Cam.
No, they're not. We'll get into it later in the show. To show the rust, I haven't said this yet. Reminder for everybody, find us on Spotify and YouTube. Just type in the Fat Katz Podcast. That's KATZ. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. We got some new content coming out. I'm doing film reviews for guys on the Instagram and TikTok, so keep an eye out for that. But as we get into it, Wade, first favorite and forgotten, man, go ahead.
Adrian Peterson, Vikings, episode 28. Number 28. Easy.
Yeah, a lot of running backs on this list for me. First guy that came to my mind was Chris Johnson, CJ2K. I was in Nashville when he played for the Titans, so easily the first guy that came to mind.
Favorite, Darrell Green, Redskins legend. Never watched him play, but can't forget about Mr. 2-8. His jersey is actually retired in Washington, so that's why AP wore 26 for us, Cam.
He was on that Super Bowl team, yeah?
He was, 1993. Back when we were good.
My favorite 28, Jaguars legend, podcast host, also shares a name with my grandfather, Fred Taylor.
So I've forgotten this week, Cam, and I did cheat. I did some research on this one, but this guy played. He was a legend for the Warriors. Played on the Heat I got lost for words. He played on the Heat for a little bit, Cam. And as Max Kellerman says, give me Iguodala.
Okay. People forget, man. 76ers and Denver Nuggets, Andre Iguodala was a dog, all-star, all-NBA guy. So that was a great pull. Weezy will like this one. my forgotten is Curtis Martin, Jets legend, running back, one of the best running backs of that era. So shout out Weezy and shout out Curtis Martin.
Love it. Love it. Cam, we'll go ahead. We'll jump through this real quick. We do got a lot of freaking sports to talk about. I'm going to start out with my first game ball, and then I want you to go to your first, and then my second, your second. My first is going to be, and Cam, I also don't want to spoil it too much, possibly a Heisman contender, Mr. Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix on the last week's seventh-ranked Washington Huskies marched in, they played at home, played Oregon at home, had game day. And the bright lights did not slow down Michael Penix. He played great. Stat line, Pac-12, most Pac-12 game as you can think. I hope you bet the over. But played great. Don't have the stats in front of me. But he defied all odds, and he beat Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, man, he was awesome. Got beat to death that game and came in and just made every big throw imaginable. People forget about him. Indiana transfer, started his career as a Hoosier. So, have a little bit of a hate for him in my heart, but also glad that he got out of that dump. My first game ball is going to go to Alec Ayomanor. Played for Stanford against Colorado last week on the Friday game. He had 13 receptions, 294 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the comeback over Colorado. I'm sure many of our listeners didn't even catch that second half, but he was incredible.
Yeah, Colorado really shit the bed, didn't they? How do you go up 28-0 then blow it? But
yeah.
Call them the modern day Atlanta Falcons. But anyway, my second game ball is going to be an old Wildcat. Me and Cam have talked a lot of trash about this guy, but he's stepped up, man. Jamin Davis, game sealing interception. Spencer Rattler. Desmond Ridder is awful. Yeah. Through 3 interceptions against us. Anyway, Jamin Davis had one with a minute and a half left. Washington Commanders are 3-3 for the first time since 2017. Cam, second game ball, Jamin Davis.
Yeah, I'm glad he's finally able to make a difference and make an impact on the field.
Finally.
Been a long time coming, buddy. So I'm glad that my former Wildcat could do something for you. My last game ball is going out to 11 guys, and that's the Browns defense. They kind of validated what I've thought for a long time, which is Brock Purdy's not a great quarterback. He just has the best cast of talent around him, and they made that a fact last week. Played really well against that 49ers offense and came out with a W. So not going to give the Browns praise very often in my life, but this is one where they gave me validation on a take I've had for a long time.
I like it, man. I like it. You know, Cam, usually we always jump into it first and we talk football. But, you know, the UFC is dropping bombs on us, my friend. Bombs. UFC 294 was prior to everybody getting hurt. I call it a 9 out of 10. It's a 12 out of 10 now. Dana White, Hunter Campbell, the UFC, they are so good at throwing audibles in when people get hurt and just giving the fans what they want to see. I mean, you look at Volkanovski and Islam. They fought it was one of the greatest fights ever. They fought in it's probably going to win fight of the year from their fight. What was it? February or March, whenever they fought.
It was early in the year. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that rematch is down the line. Khamzat Chimaev, you know what I mean, and Kamaru Usman. That's another bomb of a fight coming down the line. Obviously, people getting hurt, people are stepping in. Cam, let's hop into 294, my friend.
Yeah, man, it's rare first of all, let's acknowledge that Ward called Khamzat Khamzat.
That was not on purpose.
That was his Colby Covington coming out.
My inner Colby. I know we have listeners on here that I try to be nice and not say bad words. That was not on purpose, I promise.
Yeah, that was his inner Colby taking over. I do want to remind everybody this fight is in Abu Dhabi, so 2 p.m. start on this card. So get an extra TV to be watching college football in this at the same time. But yeah, man, it's not often that guys get hurt and cards get better, and I think that actually happened here. I'm going to start at the top down. Islam Makhachev. Forgive me, is a minus 300 favorite over Alexander Volkanovski. So, I mean, you know, Volk is my favorite fighter now that Izzy's kind of taking a downturn and is also not going to be fighting for a while. But Volk, man, many people thought that he won that first fight, me included.
I thought he won the first fight.
I'm biased, obviously, but being a minus 300 favorite for Islam is crazy to me. And I will go ahead and get my bet out of the way. Volkanovski and Khamzat, parlay those 2 winners. That's going to be one of my bets of the week. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts on this main event here?
I love it. I love it. I'm really excited, Cam. And I'm gonna agree with you, dude. You know me. I'm not a big fan of the Russians. Sorry, Putin. But I'm riding with Volk, man. Right. I think Volk is a dog, and he is taking this on 12 days' notice. Scares the hell out of me. Not gonna bet a dime on it, Cam. Not gonna lie to you. But I mean, Volk. The thing is, to me, I know we're on a time crunch. We'll be quick. Volk and Alexander and Charles Oliveira are two completely different fighters. So Islam is thrown for a whirl as well. He was training for one guy. Now he has they're completely different styles. So, man, Volk has been more active since Islam hasn't fought since him and Volk fought. Volk has. So give me Volk, man. It's scary, but give me Volk.
Yeah, man. And again, not too many times that a guy comes in on 12 day notice and wins a championship fight. But when you're getting this plus 260 juice with Volk, it's hard to pass up. He's pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now.
Yep.
The co-main, we were supposed to see Khamzat Chimaev and Paulo Costa. Costa, who would have thought got injured before the fight?
As Comshot says, he shit himself and ran away. Is what he said in the press conference.
He's been known to do that a few times, but steps in Kamaru Usman. If anybody hasn't seen the video, looks like something popped in his elbow while he was training with Justin Gaethje before the fight. But
I want to say his knee.
Okay, I want to say respect to Kamaru for stepping in late notice for this fight. Man. Not too many former champions and number one contenders are stepping in to take a last minute fight, especially not with Khamzat. So respect to him. He's going to get annihilated on Saturday, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I know for Usman, man, and you know me, I hated Usman. Did not like Usman at all because I'm a Colby Covington guy. But watching a guy, Cam, that dominated all throughout us being in college, even after college, this guy was number one pound for pound. He was a champ for 4 or 5 years. And this guy, now he's old, man. He's 36 years old. He has a bad knee. He re-aggravated his knee training in the build-up for this fight after taking it on 12 days' notice. I'm going to go with the young Khamzat Chimaev. I just think he has that dog in him. And they're also fighting at 85. Usman has never fought at 85 before. So much respect to Usman here, but I'm going with Chimaev.
Khamzat minus 260 favorite, if I didn't already say so. Third fight on the card, Magomed Ankalaev versus.
Attaboy. Dude,
yeah, that was a good one.
Off to that one.
That was a good one. He's a minus 350 favorite over Johnny Walker. So all the Russians are favored in their fights by a pretty hefty margin. Johnny Walker's a super exciting fighter. That will only get you so far in this sport. I think Magomed is probably just going to ragdoll him for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I think Johnny Walker is still hurt from that right hand that Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill gave him. So give me the Russian.
Do we have any more fights on this card that you'd like to go over? Those were the only 3 that
Those are the big 3. I know there's 2. Not really. No, we can't argue about anything. We have the same picks. We probably should have made it a little more interesting. Well, but anyway, first, there will not be a graphic on Instagram this week, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the same. So,
moving on, man, to football. We got our UFC stuff out of the way. It's going to be a super fun card for anybody who's not thinking about buying it. I would not tell you to buy a card if I didn't think it was going to be awesome, or if I wasn't buying it. I'm 100% buying this card. Per request, Ward, we've got a WCU football kind of recap per request from one of our new listeners, Big Chris. Shout out to Chris. He wants the overview on the WCU football season so far, and here we are, 2 WCU grads ready to give it to you.
What are the boys? Ranked 14th in the nation?
8 now.
It's not 8. I know that.
Yeah, I looked this morning. FCS rankings were number 8.
Really? I know they just posted something like 2 or 3 days ago, and we were 15th or 14th. I didn't know we were 8. That's huge.
Yeah, in the AP poll, nationally ranked number 8 in FCS, number 1 in the SoCon. They also have the number 1 ranked.
They have offense. Us above Furman. Furman's ranked 3rd in FCS.
I'm looking at the AP polls, man.
Well, that's huge, dude. I didn't know that.
So number 1 offense in FCS. The Catamounts are 5-1 with their only loss against Arkansas. They're one of 3 schools, along with LSU and Oregon, to average 300 yards passing and 200 yards rushing per game. Some key players to look out for if you're ever catching a WCU football game on ESPN Plus. Cole Gonzalez is the quarterback. He's got 1,500 yards this year, 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions through the 6 games. Running back Desmond Reed, who's probably going to be an NFL football player one day. He's got 1,000 all-purpose yards and 12 touchdowns. He's averaging 7.5 yards per attempt this season. Only FCS team in the nation, Ward, with a winning record and a negative turnover ratio. They're -5 on the turnover battle this year, but they are 5-1. And for our betting friends, there's only been one game this year that they did not hit the over in total points. And lastly, Kerwin Bell has the fellas playing some ball.
Kerwin Bell, man. Kerwin Bell. How about, he comes into a program that is the low of the low, ranked 4 years previously last or second last in the SoCon every year. And that's no disrespect to Mark Spear, great coach. But Kerwin Bell has come in and brought new light, new recruits, brought in top 25 recruiting classes. He's doing his thing, man. And his son's the OC. I can't remember his son's name, but his son's the OC. And there's a new electricity in Cullowhee. And, obviously we sucked when we were there for 4 years. But happy to see it, man. We're going to be up there seeing them play next week. They play Mercer, homecoming. We're going to beat the hell out of Mercer. But so glad that we have a team we can really follow.
Yeah, man. I've went out of my way to watch Western games this year, which is I lived there for 4 years and didn't go to a full game. So to have people actually care about football in Cullowhee is a huge win for Kerwin, and can't wait to see what this program does over the next few years. People forget, man, the guy won a national championship at D2. This guy's no joke.
Hey, what are the Cats, Cam? The Cats are back, baby.
Oh, the Cats are back.
Cats freaking back.
Don't call it a comeback either. But as we move on to the recaps, we're going to be kind of light on the recaps with it being Thursday here. Your Commanders, Ward, go ahead and talk about our Commanders here.
Boys won. We're 3-3. First time since 2017. We beat the Falcons. Desmond Ridder is awful. Taylor Heineke will run the show there in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Cam, you heard it here first. Let's talk college football, brother.
Yep. Before we get on, Steelers beat Open's ass last week on the bye. And as we get into college football, man, it's kind of rough here in Fat Katz land. My Cats lose on homecoming to the Missouri Tigers and that dork of a head coach they've got over there. 38-21 is coming after a 14-0 first quarter award. They outscored us 38-7 in the final 3 quarters with 28 unanswered, which is brutal. But yeah, man, rough loss for my Kentucky Wildcats. We're going into the bye, thank God. Only problem is Stoops is like 3-7 out of the bye in his career, and we have Tennessee next week.
Ooh.
So
at Tennessee?
No, at Kentucky, but
okay.
I think he's only beat Tennessee twice in his tenure. So it's a rough game. This is one where you're going to make or break the season, in my opinion. Like if you win this game, fans are back on board. But if not, man, it's going to be a long last, however many games.
Cam, we were riding high on the Wildcats 2 weeks ago, right before y'all played Georgia. Me and you were riding high. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start on the NC State Wolfpack, man. What an embarrassment. I was at the game. I've been to 2 games this year, and both games I've been to, we got the shit beat out of us. We go to Duke, night game, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. There's more NC State fans than Duke fans in Wallace Wade Stadium, by the way. We go in, first drive, the boys come out electric. We force an interception. Offense doesn't move the ball. We kick a 57-yard field goal at the college level, hit it. We go up 3-0 within the first 30 seconds of the game. Then from there on, we get outscored 24-0. We lost 24-3 in that game, Cam. Offense probably had 100 total yards, not even. They had their backup quarterback in. He threw all over us. He ran all over us. They ran the football all over us. So not too much to say. NC State does not look good. Thank God we have a bye this week. Tired of talking about them. Let's talk NFL football, Cam.
Yeah, let's do it. Week 7 coming down the pipe. We're going to start it out with your Commanders, who are 2.5-point favorites over the New York Football Giants, Ward.
Have not beat the Giants in 3 years. Have not beat the Giants since Dexter Lawrence jumped off sides in 2021, week 2, Thursday night football, for us to hit, for Dustin Hopkins to hit a field goal and win. So, Cam, because of that, I do not like us being favored. We have not won. No, we've won one game being favored this year. So, yeah, give me the Giants, my friend. I hope the boys prove me wrong. Go Redskins, but not a favorable matchup for us.
Yeah, man, I'm going Commanders here to win and cover.
I like it.
or FTC. There
I
we go.
like it.
Yeah, I like the Commanders this week. The Giants' offense has been abysmal. Their defense has kept them in every game, and not to say that the Commanders have a great offense, but I trust Sam Howell more than I do.
I do
Daniel
too, dude.
right
Sam
now.
Howell's playing good. He threw for 3 touchdowns, and he threw for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Falcons. But you know me, man. I always like to prove myself wrong. So
Yeah,
I always bet the other team.
Ward's big on the emotional hedge, and I understand it. I wish I was more like that, but man, I'm bad about doubling down on my boys and getting even more heartbroken.
Hey, be confident, brother. Steelers, Rams. Talk to me.
Yeah, man, this is one of those games, man. You're coming out of the bye week, and the Steelers historically are great out of the bye week. We're traveling to LA, which is going to be a pseudo home game for us because there are no Rams fans in Los Angeles. The Rams are 3-point favorites at home. I got the Steelers winning outright this game. We're not going to be able to cover Cooper Kupp. I already know that. And he's going to drive me nuts for 48 minutes of football. But I still got my Steelers winning coming out of bye week. I think we're going to get our run game going this week finally. And, yeah, I got Steelers winning outright.
I like it, Cam. I will have to disagree with you here. I do have the Rams winning. I don't know about covering. I have Rams money line. I'll take that. How about that? The Rams offense is clicking. Their running back is hurt. I will say he's my fantasy running back, so I'd have to pick somebody up on the waivers. But Rams running back is hurt. The Steelers are coming off a bye, and y'all are coming off a huge win against Baltimore. But going to LA, I don't know. I haven't really studied the Rams too much, but screw it. Rams -3.
Gotcha.
This is a slate of football this week, though. I did not know there were so many games.
Yeah, man. College and NFL, this is a great week of football. Moving on, Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites over the Chargers, who took a tough loss to the Cowboys last week on primetime, as Ward talked about. I got the Chiefs winning and covering here. Until Staley's gone in LA, I'm never going to trust this Chargers teams. He makes so many boneheaded decisions and so many mistakes while coaching this football team. It's hard for me to pick him ever.
You're right, Cam. I agree with you. Give me Chiefs covering and winning. I think Mrs. Taylor Swift's going to be there, and I'm still so tired of hearing about her, Cam. But yeah, give me the Chiefs.
You know, Travis really put that girl on the map, man. I'm glad that he was
did put her on the map. For anybody that disagrees, I wouldn't pay to go to a Taylor Swift concert. I'd pay to go see Travis Kelce play.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that he took the time out to, really
non-biased. Even if Taylor Swift had a free concert, I wouldn't go. I don't really care for her music personally, but.
And that was your daily Fat Katz Minute hating on Taylor Swift.
There we go.
Dolphins, Eagles, Ward. This is going to be a fun game. Kind of an offense versus defense kind of matchup here. Eagles are favored by 2.5 points. It's in Philly. Screw it, man. Give me Dolphins money.
Give me the Dolphins, dude. Give me the freaking Dolphins. I like it.
That was quick and easy. If you want to break down of the game, man, I think this offense is too fast for this Eagles.
The Eagles just lost to the Jets.
They did.
You know why they lost to the Jets? Did you see all the memes on Instagram? Mama Kelsey was there. Zach Wilson was doing his thing.
That's not right, man. That's not right. Come on,
man. Dude, the Dolphins are playing good, man. Dolphins are playing really good. Sam Howell threw for over 300 yards against the Eagles. And that was with a bottom half offense. Imagine the number 1 offense in the NFL, number 1 passing offense in the NFL, and number 2 rushing offense in the NFL. So I would bet the over. Whatever the over is of that game, I would hammer it, Cam.
Yeah, I like that. Last game we're going to cover, 49ers coming off a loss in Cleveland are 6.5-point favorites over the Vikings without Justin Jefferson. I think this is a bounce-back game for the 49ers. I honestly think this is a rout. It looks like Christian McCaffrey is actually going to be playing in this game, which is kind of a revelation. But, yeah, 49ers to cover against the Vikings, I think that's a pretty easy bet for me.
Yep, I like it too.
Moving on to college football. Great slate of college football. And if you guys remember before the season started, I said this would happen. Penn State at Ohio State for the conference to be outright in the lead. Obviously, they have Michigan in a couple weeks. Ohio State 4-point favorites. Give me Penn State going to Columbus and win this football game.
I literally had the same exact thing, that this Penn State team is, I don't know what James Franklin is doing, and it's not college. What do they call them? College
State.
College, is it College
no,
State?
it's Happy Valley. Happy Valley.
That's it. Or State College. That's the town or whatever. But anyway, man, I don't know what's going on in Penn State, what's going on in Happy Valley. Those boys are playing ball. They are beating everybody. Their defense is playing great. Offense is playing great. I like Penn State, man. Ohio State. This is going to be such a good football game. But
it's going to be fun. And write it down now in black pen, whatever you got to do. Staple it. Put it up on your wall. Cam Taylor says Drew Allar in 2 years is going to be a top 5 pick, man. This kid is a stud at quarterback at Penn State, man. He's awesome. He's going to go get a signature staple win for this Penn State program award this weekend. Book it.
And I will say, Lou Holtz, if you're at this game, do not talk shit about Ohio State football again, because I want Penn State to win this game, and you really pissed Ryan Day off. So whatever, I know Lou Holtz is a Notre Dame guy, but whatever notable Penn State alumni are out there, don't piss them off, please. Go Penn State.
Yeah, how brutal is it that Ryan Day has to get external motivation from Lou Holtz to win a football game? But Tennessee going to Alabama this year. Alabama's a hefty 9.5-point favorite. I'm not touching this game, the spread, but I do think Alabama comes out with the win against Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee beats Alabama 2 years in a row. You remember what happened last year when they beat Alabama? They ripped the field goal post down and they threw them in the river. So give me Alabama winning, Tennessee covering, though, Cam. 9.5 is a hefty spread. I don't know what the updated spread is. I put this down on Tuesday, but I don't know if you checked updates or not. But
no, I didn't see any of the lines move yet. Joe Milton.
Give me. I think Tennessee's going to cover, but not win.
If Joe Milton's playing quarterback, man, I can't cheer that team on to win, especially Tennessee. Let me say this. I said this last week. Michael Penix has had the career trajectory that everybody thought Joe Milton would have.
Yeah.
Like, highly recruited guy, goes to a Big Ten school, obviously Penix, Indiana, and then Joe Milton, Michigan. Doesn't really fit, goes to another school, supposed to take off, have this Heisman campaign. Joe Milton is in an offense created for him and cannot play great football. Michael Penix is far superior of a quarterback than Joe Milton ever has been or ever will be. Let me just get that off my chest real quick. Duke, FSU. This is a huge game for the ACC and what's going to happen there. FSU's 14-point favorites as of Tuesday. I think this is a statement game for Florida State. I got them winning and covering.
Really? I am the opposite. I have Florida State winning but not covering. I think this Duke team has shown that they can play. They played Notre Dame extremely well. They beat the hell out of Clemson. They've played big teams. And the thing is, they are going to Florida State. But I think, obviously Florida State's extremely good. It all depends on Duke's quarterback situation. If their backup's playing again, I'm not sure how they're going to do offensively. But I do think Florida State's going to win, but not cover. I will say, if Duke wins this game, Duke's on the map. Duke's good.
For sure. I think Duke got put on the map when they beat Clemson. Mike Elko has done a terrific job at Duke, and I have nothing but respect. And
I have no idea why I bet the NC State money line against Duke. I don't know what was going through my mind, but
Ward, if you want to feel better about yourself at halftime, I live bet USC and Kentucky and parlayed them. Their live money
for you, buddy.
Not great. But last game we're going to cover, and then I've got something that's not on here that I want to talk to you about, Ward. Utah, Southern Cal. Southern Cal is 6.5-point favorites. Call me crazy, Ward. I think Utah's going to win this football game, man. I love the Utes. They come in, they have a big upset every year. Cam Rising's starting to play good football again. Give me Utah outright against USC.
Hey, Caleb Williams, go paint your nails again, buddy. Give me Utah as well. They kicked your ass twice last year, and they think they're doing it again this year. Give me Utah winning. Utah winning money line, baby.
This is a Utah Utes podcast officially. Ward, I got something funny for you, man.
Let's hear it, big dog.
You didn't know Brian Ferentz is the offensive coordinator at Iowa. His dad is the head coach. He has a thing in his contract this year, Ward, that offense has to score 25 points per game for him to keep his job at the end of the season. Right now they're averaging like 22.5, I think. So he has to average like almost 28 points per game here on out.
Repeat the team.
Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, the Hawkeyes. So he's got, he has to score average 25 points per game this year. If you look at Iowa's schedule, Ward, they're on track to go 11-1. They won their last game with 36 yards of passing offense.
Damn.
They haven't scored over 20 points in like 4 weeks. So this raises a question. Hypothetically, Iowa does what they should do. They win out. They go 11-1, go to the Big Ten championship, play, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, whoever it is, close or wins, but they're averaging 21.3 points per game for the season. Are they firing that dude?
No, absolutely not. Winning speaks more than scoring points. Defense wins championships.
But they've won. They've been awesome the past 3 years with him at the helm, and the fans still hate him.
I don't know, man. I personally wouldn't. If we're winning, I would. If we're projected to go 11-1, hell, I wouldn't fire anybody. But
yeah, and I also think where it's his son, where it's the head coach's son being the OC, that he gets a lot more hate. Like, yeah. I think if that was a regular dude, like some Joe Schmo, and they were going 11-1, that nobody would really care. But it's been an abysmal offense to watch the past 3 years, Ward, with him running the show. But I'm on the same boat as you, man. If you go 11-1 in the Big Ten, make the conference championship, there's no way you tear that down.
Yeah, I like it, Cam. I like it.
How funny is that, though, that you have to put something in a contract that says the OC has to score 25 points per, he gets fired?
It's Iowa Hawkeyes for you. That's what
I'll respect Iowa more if they do fire him, if they go 11-1, 10-2, and still fire.
Watch Iowa go 10-2, be in the Big Ten championship, and they fire their head coach.
Well, they wouldn't fire the head man; they'd fire
their OC. You know what I mean?
But as Ward alluded to, thank God that NC State and Kentucky both have byes this week. We do not have to put ourselves through misery. I can't believe I get up every Saturday and am excited to watch these guys play football.
I'm right with you, buddy.
I trick myself every week, and I'm tired of it.
I'm right with you. I'm tired of watching them.
Let's move into picks of the week here, Ward. I'm gonna let you take your fadeaway picks of the week first.
I will say, Cam, while I'm doing this, I want you to look something up for me. I'm gonna do a live fadeaway bet on the Fat Katz Podcast off the top of the head. Tell me who the NFL Thursday night football game tonight is, right, if you don't mind. First off, I've already gone through this, but my fadeaway pick of the week is going to be Penn State money line. It's ballsy. I think it's plus 280 last time I checked. But I like Penn State against Ohio State. I hate to say it. Sorry for all the Buckeyes listening, but I like Penn State. My second one, if I already went over this one as well, is Duke covering. I like Duke covering that 14-point spread against Florida State. And my third one, Cam, I did not put this on here, but I like the Dolphins and the Eagles. I would assume the over-under will be at like 58 if I had to guess. But I'm going to take the over on that game. I think that's going to be a high-scoring offensive shootout. Cam, give me my live bet.
Yeah, so New Orleans Saints, 2-point favorites. If you want to take Jacksonville money line, it's plus 105. And the over-under for this game is at 40.5.
Oh, give me one. Hammer the over on that. And then I'm not sure what Trevor Lawrence's passing yards is. I would assume what's like 220, 225. Give me the over on Trevor Lawrence passing yards.
I'll get your player props real quick.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just thinking off the top of my head. I know the Saints defense kind of sucks. So
quick correction. Miami Eagles over is at 52 right now.
52. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
ATM, free money. Hammer that.
So for Bam's bad beats, I'm gonna go James Madison. They're 3.5-point favorites over Marshall. I've got Minnesota versus Iowa under 32.5. I've hit 5 straight under bets for Iowa. They just keep going down.
Got 32.5. I might have to wager the over on that one.
Hey, that's a bad bet, buddy. I promise you that. Eastern Michigan is getting 12 points against your NIU pack right there.
Oh, they play this week.
I think that's absolutely nuts. Eastern Michigan has covered every spread this season.
How's NIU playing?
They're playing well, man. They're a good football team, but giving them 12 points against Eastern Michigan is absolutely nuts. And then I touched on it earlier. I'm parlaying Alexander Volkanovski money line and Hamzat money line. in the fights this weekend. And I've got a quote I want to share.
Do you want Hamzat or do you want Usman to win?
I don't really care who wins. I don't really like either one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the hype beast, I mean, to get Hamzat to be like this killer would be awesome for the UFC. But I always like seeing guys like that are super cocky and young and up and coming get kind of humbled a little bit.
I'd love to see a mean right hand by Usman, just like he did to Jorge Masvidal. But we'll talk about that.
I do have a quote real quick I want to share from my buddy Novak, and he's a listener of the show, friend of the program. Sports betting, guys, I want to give you a piece of advice. The money is in the crumbs. So every week I come on here, like this James Madison Marshall bet, the under for Iowa, the MAC bets I give you guys. The money's in the crumbs, man. You can get trends in these leagues much easier than like the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, all that stuff. My buddy Novak Ward is like all time. I think he's up like probably 100 units on A10 basketball. So like, guys, find a team that you like. For me, Eastern Michigan hasn't not covered a spread this year. And ride that train. Iowa unders. Ride that train. The money is in the crumbs. Find these things that you know that you've seen with your eyes and just ride it out for the season. Hey, Rutgers, it's another great one, Ward.
Hey, just like they say in The Longest Yard, man. Don't go for the Hershey's bar. Just get a little Hershey's Kiss.
Just a little Hershey's Kiss. Who we gonna kiss? The gods.
Man. Cam, let's freaking move forward, man. Give me the pet peeve of the week.
Yeah, man. My pet peeve of the week, Ward, and I've gotten too much of this already in my 2 weeks of coaching. Parents at middle school games need to sit back and shut up, man. Watch your kid, have a good time. If it's so easy, you come down and coach. That's what I'll say.
What is it? Is everybody's mom and dad wanting them to play and you know, when their kids don't do good, it's our fault. And I'll say, you know, let's stop raising these soft kids, man. We got to toughen these kids up a little bit. Yeah, Cam, this one may be controversial, man. My pet peeve of the week is Hasbulla. I don't know what the hype is behind this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and start out and say that. I don't know why everybody's obsessed with this little midget. And I keep seeing this guy go up. He meets people and then he just starts punching them. I mean, I hate to say it. If this little Hasbulla Russian midget come up and just started punching me, his ass is gonna be a 50-yarder. Grab him, punch. I mean, I don't get what the deal is. I guess because he got big with Nelk, or he's. I mean, I'm not going to fight his cousins. I'm not going to fight Islam and damn Khabib. They'll kick my butt. But Hasbulla, man, I'd take the odds on fade weight on that one. But yeah, man, tired of hearing about the Hasbulla guy.
Wait, I hate to say it, man, but if you punt Hasbulla, I think the boys are coming after you. I think Khabib.
Tell him not to come up and start punching me. Then. How about that? Hey, you hit
that is funny.
Man, you can take it like a man, right?
That is funny. I've noticed that too. I think it's funny that, like, you know, just this cat just became famous for apparently no reason, just because he hangs out with the Russian fighters and Nelk. But I think it's funny. I don't have a problem with it, but I could see how it'd be annoying. He did give Islam
and Dana White hangs out. What does Dana White care about the little Russian midget for?
But
I mean,
let's move on to full plate empty stomach, Ward. Go ahead, man.
Full plate. Give me Michael Penix. As we mentioned, he balled out. Empty stomach. NC State football. They suck. We just got beat 24-3 by a basketball school.
Yeah, man. My full plate is people who put a future in on Michael Penix for Heisman. This guy right here, I got him at like plus 1,000, I think. Put a pretty little penny on it, and it's looking great. He moved to minus 165, Ward. So
wow, I'm on the Heisman board right now.
I'm on the right side of the bet, no matter what. My empty stomach is going out to Shane Beamer. Broke his foot kicking something after the Florida game, Ward. So I'm excited to see him on the sideline on Saturday to see what that looks like. But hard to see a bigger dork in college football than Shane Beamer.
What about Dorkwitz? He's not on here.
Dorkwitz and Dabo are close second and third for me, but some of the stuff that Beamer does just irks me. I don't know why. But yeah, Dorkwitz is up there, man. Let's not kid ourselves. But that's the show, guys. We kind of did a little bit of a condensed version. We had some stuff at work pop up, but yeah, I want to remind everybody, find us on YouTube and Spotify, the Fat Katz Podcast. It's KATZ. Find us on Instagram,
baby,
and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Ward, it's a pleasure as always. I'm glad we're able to get back on track here.
It's always a pleasure, man. Just look at the name. Y'all know who the real big dog is here with the Fat Cats, not Cam, but Ward. Hey, come check love the shirt, Cam. Come check the boys out next week. We're going to be in Cullowhee at homecoming. The boys are going to be live, back in action. We might even go back to our old Busch Light days since we're in the mountains, Appalachian Creek water. But Cam will buy you a beer if you come up and mention, I don't know what, if you come up to Cam and say Kentucky, if you say Kentucky sucks to Cam, if you go up to Cam, if you made it this far, next week, if you go up and say, hey, Cam, Kentucky sucks, and you tell me you said it, I got you a free beer. Wherever we're at, if we're at the casino, if we're at Innovation Brewery, if we're at O'Malley's, or if we're at a tailgate and I got a Busch Light, it's all yours.
I might start saying it to myself, just talking to myself next week. But
you gonna drink Busch Light?
I'm drinking whatever somebody hands me, man. But yeah, you could say that to me, or just ask me for a shirtless picture of myself. I still got them on tap from the last challenge we did. So yeah, shirtless pictures will be flowing. The brewskis will be flowing. But everybody have fun at Cullowhee next weekend. I'll be there and be safe. But yeah, man, that's the podcast right there.
The boys are back. Thank you for all the support. And Cam, love you, brother.
Love you too, big dog.
We're getting active next weekend, my friend.
Yes, sir. It's good. Hey, it's going to be a movie, as our friend Eric B-Ball Brown would say. It's going to be a movie, bot man.
Hey, the boys are back, baby. All right, brother. Hey, great podcast, big dog.